Hey guys, I'm the Moose from Tactical Edge Hobbies, and you're asking me, Moose, what is a gel blaster? Well, I'm here today to tell you exactly what a gel blaster is and why you may consider purchasing one in the future. So a gel blaster is a replica firearm which is non-lethal and shoots tiny little gel balls. This here is an example of a replica firearm. Now this one here is what's called an AEG, or air electric gun, and it's powered by a battery. There are other types of gel blasters, however. One is called a Springer, or a manual spring, and the other one is an HPA, or a green gas. So HPA and GBBs being blasters that are propelled by some form of gas, whether it be high pressure air or green gas or CO2. In addition to your AEG guns, you do have the GBBs, or gas blowback. Now those are comprised of either your CO2 cartridges, which is a 12-gram cartridge which will fit into the magazine of your pistol, or you also have green gas, which is seen in this bottle here. Now green gas generally comes in 12 kilo, 14 kilo, and 18 kilo gas. We recommend using a 14 kilo gas. That way you're getting enough firepower out of your blaster, but not so much that you're gonna blow it apart. So this here is an example of the magazine. This magazine is for an M4 platform and holds about 300 rounds. At the top of the magazine there is a small door where you pour the gels in, and when inserted to the receiver, the AEG will allow the gels to pass through the feeding tube into the T-piece and project out the front end. All gel blasters have a fire select. So this particular model does have a safe, a single fire, and a full auto mode. Always have a blaster in your safe when it's not in use. Now your AEGs, they're gonna be powered by a LiPo battery. You get those in two different styles. So you've got a 7.4 volt battery and an 11.1 volt battery. And how you're going to know the difference will be these small little white charging ports. The 7-volt battery will have a 3-prong connector, where the 11-volt will have a 4-prong connector. You can get these in Mini Tamiya, Dean's connections, JST connections. Those are the three most common types. Now to help with the accuracy of your AEGs or your HPA GBBs, we have what's called a hop-up. Now the hop-up here is designed to put backspin on the gel. The backspin is what's called Magnus effect. So the Magnus effect allows the gel to cut through the air resistance further and straighter, giving you more distance and more accuracy for your gel blaster. But do be aware that you will see a small FPS decrease as the system does use friction. Inside of the hop-up, you can see that you do have those two tongues, those duck bills I like to call them, and those duck bills are what puts the slight pressure on the gel, creating the Magnus effect. If you're looking to get more accuracy and distance out of your gel blaster, we definitely recommend picking yourself up one of those. Growing your gels is easy. Just simply get a bucket like this, pour your gels into the bucket, fill the bucket with water, and wait 4 to 6 hours. Once that time has elapsed, take the bucket and strain the water out, making sure the gels aren't soaking wet, but not dry either. After you've drained off most of the water, you're gonna take a microfiber cloth and just go into the bucket like this and just massage those gels dry. You don't want any extra water going through your blaster. As little water as possible is preferred. That way we're getting the most of the blaster and not destroying the internal components. Now, some gel blasters will have what's called a magazine prime, some won't. This particular version here, the Diatax 9.7-inch SLR, does have a mag prime function. How we activate that with a magazine in and a battery connected, we simply gently pull back on that charge handle and we will hear the gels prime from the magazine into the feed tube, which just means we don't have to dry fire the blaster to get gels to feed. When we're done using the blaster over the day, maintenance is very important, so we're gonna wanna do a few things. First thing we wanna do is make sure that we're always disconnecting our battery from the buttstock. Never leave a battery connected to your blaster when it's not in use, as leaving the battery connected will damage the internals of the blaster. The next thing we're going to do is remove the magazine from the receiver and make sure we're clearing our breech. So put the blaster into single fire mode, put the blaster upside down, take a couple of shots, make sure there's no gels left in the blaster itself. From there, we're also going to want to take our magazine and make sure there's no gels left in the mag. Give it a flick, make sure there's no gels in there, as leaving gels inside your magazine will damage your blaster. And of course, guys, never leave a magazine inside your blaster during storage, as it does breach legalities. Now, one of the other questions I get asked a lot is, Moose, are these legal to own? Well, that really depends on where you live. Here in Queensland, gel blasters are perfectly 100% legal to own, but there are some rules and regulations around the storage and transportation of the gel blaster. When transporting a gel blaster, it needs to be in a lockable container and stored in the boot of the car during transport. When you're storing it at home, just needs to be in a lockable area, such as your garage or a room that can be locked. So if you're in another state that wants to own a gel blaster, it's best to check with your local authorities on the rules and regulations governing your state in particular. Until next time, guys, I've been the Moose. This has been Tactical Edge Hobbies, and we'll catch you on the next video. Moose out.